A few thousand of you scattered across the other platforms. Shout out to TikTok, by the way. If you're watching on TikTok, I see you, baby. I see you, baby. TikTok audience has been growing daily. It has. It has. We're also streaming to LinkedIn. So if you're that guy who sent me a business request 3 years ago that I've been ignoring, now's my chance to apologize. Because
A8 Queen, King H7. Let's say white.
Signs.
We have a resignation on the board. Bobby, you're going to have to hold that thought for a future video. Check it out on YouTube.
So here is game 9 between Nepomniachtchi and Magnus Carlsen. Just real quick. Listen, this match is for all intents and purposes over. Nepomniachtchi here with the white pieces is on tilt, as they would say in the poker world. He has not recovered from his first loss in the match, and he's just on a downward spiral. Hopefully he can at least draw the rest of the rest of the games, so he just doesn't just ruin himself psychologically, because at this point the match is pretty much over. But if he continues to lose in these in this type of manner, with these great blunders, this may affect him in a way that it will continue for the rest of his career, and he might not ever be the same chess player again. You got to remember, these games are being broadcast to millions of people all across the world, right? His whole country is watching them just crash and burn before their eyes. So the psychological effects of such a public humiliation can be very strenuous mentally, especially going forward in the future. Just think, after back to 1972, the Spassky Fischer match. I know most people aren't old enough to remember that match. I don't remember that match. I wasn't born, but I've read enough about it to know that Spassky was devastated after that match. Just the way he lost, the collapses in the game. He was never able, the collapses that took place, he was never able to really recover. He was not the same player again. Yes, he played a few brilliancies here and there, but he was never the same player again. And I can see that happening to Nepo. Is still being an elite player, still being a very strong player, but these type of losses, right, are very hard to get over psychologically. You see, he's not the first player that Carlsen has beat in the match, right? He's defeated Anand twice. Anand was aging at the end of his career, and so things went logically, right? The new lion, the young lion defeated the old lion, right? So it's not like Anand's career was affected, right? He things make their natural progression, right? He defeated Anand just like Kramnik beat the old lion in Kasparov, right? Then he wound up, playing Karyakin. Again, very close match. Karyakin, in my opinion, had the best chance of beating Magnus, right? He did have that 1-game lead. And again, although Karyakin lost, it was a very close match. He lost in the rapids. It was respectable, right? That's not the type of loss in the match that's going to change Karyakin's career. Then he went and played Fabiano Caruana. Same thing. Draws in all the classical games, right? Showing that the players on the same level. And eventually he defeated Fabiano in the rapid section. Again, nothing for Fabiano to hang his head over. You see the difference here. Nepomniachtchi is just getting crashed, right? Beat down in these classical games, and he's losing in ways that show a lack of focus, lack of concentration. He's not at the board. If you're watching a lot of the video, he's not at the board. It seems like he's almost giving up mentally. Like, if you could see through his head, it was just seemed like he's not there anymore. That he's just, for all intents and purposes, giving up. All right, so definitely interesting case study. And here, Magnus, of course, is equalized. White has some space on the king side, a little bit of pressure on the queen side. And now Magnus is down a pawn here, but black's pieces are active. So, you know, white has a weakness on a2 that eventually black will be able to pile up on. Right, and in this particular move, Magnus attacks the c pawn. All right, and now here is where Carlsen goes wrong. Notice there's pressure on the e pawn too, so the rook on e1 can't just swing over to protect the pawn. So here, Magnus Nepomniachtchi makes the natural move, right, and tries to protect his extra pawn by playing the move c4 here. Excuse me, c5. However, after c6, Nepomniachtchi is condemned to losing a piece on the board. You can see the bishop on b7 is lacking squares, right? So it's the trap door closes, and basically white has traded the bishop for a pawn here. And of course, Nepomniachtchi knows, but he's kind of playing on anyway. Knight h6. Rook e4. Of course, he would love to trade off the rook. Then the bishop would have a way out via a6. But no, rook a7. Tries to hold on. There's no way the bishop is going to fall. And now white's last hope is to just try to toss that a pawn up the board. Make some trouble. Drops another pawn. Knight tries to assist the advance of the a pawn. A6. And now knight takes g3 here. Of course, Magnus is calculating and seeing everything. Knight d4 to knight b5 is also another idea. Those are more defensive options, you know, stopping the a7 pawn. But Magnus is able to calculate all of these things out. He's calculated tactically. I can snatch another pawn, and he does it. Victor Korchnoi would be happy. Knight a4 and c5 here. A7. Again, black has calculated everything. C pawn drops, and now the pawn is blocked. Right, bishop c6 is coming, and basically, Nepomniachtchi is just down a piece for nothing, and the game was resigned here by Nepomniachtchi. Get in that comment section below. Let me know what you think. Right, the match is definitely over. I mean, if you think it's not over, you know, definitely let it be known to the public. And also let me know what you think the effect of these losses is gonna have on Nepomniachtchi going forward. So please like, subscribe, check out my other videos. I have maybe about 700 videos going deep into chess, all type of subjects, compilation videos on certain openings, certain players, advice on end games, middle games. Just give some of my videos a sample. I know you haven't seen a lot of them. You know, it's not, my channel's not one of those channels where there's a lot of you know, playing around and just quick 10-minute analysis. I'll go deep into the game. Check my videos out and let me know what you think. But for now, get in those comments below, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Gone.
Then it was a draw. Some people were criticizing Magnus that he could little press. Then it was game 3. It's a peaceful draw kind of thing. So the tension and the whole match started to build up. And by game 5, many people said, including myself, that I saw a chance that it's going to be 14 draw.
I think it could have been. It could have been. I mean, yeah. I think it could have been easily. I mean, it's not like it's either 14 draws or 13 draws and a loss. Yeah, it's either 14 draws or a bunch of losses like that. I think it could have been. Yeah, had he not lost one game, he maybe would have never lost. He just kind of decomposed from it. But I've seen it before in tournaments, but not to this extent. And I kind of thought that. Well, maybe Jan managed to accomplish, you know, such amount of work that it changed. But somehow, maybe it's the opposite. That when you are in under such a stress situation where it's the biggest challenge of your life, then your weaknesses can also be only extended, further. So yeah, we're seeing basically his worst meltdown, even for his own standards. So it's unfortunate, but I do think all draws was realistic. If he had survived game 6, he would have probably managed game 8 as well, and this one he would never lose either. So it's just a consequence of that.